Hey everyone, David C. Anderson here, coming at you from the Knife Center, and it's our favorite time of the week because there's new knives on the table in front of me. They are the coolest ones that have just hit our shelves, so let's check them out. All right, the first knife today is not strictly new, but it is just hitting our shelves at a much lower price. That is the Kershaw Esteem. Formerly about $42 for this knife. We've managed to secure a great price on a big supply of these, so we can offer them to you for just under $20 now. Insane drop from the original price. That's more than 50% off after all, right? Carry the two, yeah, math checks out. For that, you got a detent joint, a non-locking folder, but with some modern conveniences like a pocket clip, of course, and because it's a double detent, you got that flicky action going on as well. The blade shape itself is very cool, bit of an elliptical drop point shape going on, full flat grind, nice and slicey, 8CR series stainless at this price level. Good stuff indeed. Just such a cool little kind of traditional looking blade, but the handles of course are anything but traditional. We've got stainless steel and G10, kind of a hybrid construction there over top of liners. Very, very cool. Deep carry pocket clip, not reversible. In this case, this is a right side only pocket clip, but how cool is that? And how good of a little deal is that? $20 for a very, very cool little Kershaw knife. Do check it out. Considerably more than $20, we've got a couple new Benchmades have dropped this week. I guess that's not gonna lie flat, is it, Thomas? That's okay. The first is something I am rather taken with. Actually, I should say that about both the knives this week. They're both kind of right up my alley. The first is the mini Adamas. I love the Adamas series, especially since they relaunched it with crude wear steel. This version, however, comes with MagnaCut steel. There you folks go. With a stone-washed finish. Not only is this the first time, I believe the first time ever we've seen a stainless steel on an Adamas knife, it's also the first time it's been non-coated as well. We've got a stone-washed finish right here. The handles are a marbled carbon fiber, and the liners, the pocket clip, the pivot ring, and the thumb studs all have this kind of golden, brassy coloration to it. Really, really striking. Price on this is about $337 right now, though. The action, it's good. You've got the axis lock. That crossbar mechanism allows you to keep your fingers completely out of the path of the blade while it's opening, more importantly, when it's closing, which of course makes it what we call a finger-safe lock. Very, very nice. Reversible pocket clip and ambidextrous controls means anyone's going to be able to use this quite nicely. As for the nature of this knife, you got a 3¼ inch blade and kind of a stocky construction. It's not kind of a slim, svelte, everyday carry folder. It is compact, but it is strong. Like, you've got a solid feel overall. Those full-length liners help with that. The actual feel in the hand, the contouring of those carbon fiber scales go a long way to providing a rock-solid grip. Plenty of protection too from that finger guard right there. If you need to press this into a task, doing some piercing or pushing of the blade, always good to have that little extra bit of safety right there. This is sweet. This really is a winner. Next up, also from Benchmade earlier this week, a new version of the mini Barrage. Also a knife that, while small, this one has a sub 3-inch blade, still has a super solid, kind of chunky feel in the hand. Not quite as chunky as the Adamas series, but more hand-filling than the mini Griptilian or the mini Bug Out, while still giving you that 3-inch blade. Really, 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 really cool. $270 for this knife. For that, the kind of like star part of it, for me anyway, are the handles. That is a blue rich light, which is kind of like paper micarta. Really, really sweet. Even take away the blue color, you look at kind of the, the patterning there, it almost feels like wood. It feels way more natural than many other man-made materials. Sweet stuff. We've got the same kind of color on the thumb stud as we saw on the mini Adamas, and an injection molded backspacer also mimicking that same color. Blade itself, S30V, really cool drop point shape with that high flat grind there. And this is an assisted opening axis lock knife, which also comes with a spine-mounted safety that basically just locks out the lock bar from moving, so it'll keep it from accidentally deploying. It'll also provide a secondary degree of safety when you have it open too, which is really, really cool. Nice solid feel in the hand. Again, ambidextrous controls all around is definitely a winner. So cool to see them branching out with a material like this. I am always happy when we see more rich light on some cool knives. If you've got a crossbar lock appetite but don't have that kind of money, we've got several new Vosteed Raccoons, including a new blade shape as well with this modified sheep's foot right here. Actually, on the website, we're calling it a Cleaver blade. Not sure I buy that, but
I do.
Yeah, modified sheep's foot. $59 for these. You've got a 3 1/4 inch blade, Sandvik 14C28N. Really good stuff. It is stainless. It is nice and tough. Holds an edge respectably as well. It's not going to hold an edge like your S30Vs or anything like that, but it does a very good job, and it takes a fine edge very easily, so it's very easy to maintain too. High flat grind, swedge, really cool shape, really great geometry, really great action too on their crossbar lock. We have ball bearings in this pivot as opposed to washers on the previous two knives, so keep that in mind. Make sure to keep them clean as you're using it. Canvas micarta on this handle, green in this case. We have a reversible pocket clip as well. There it is. It's almost deep carry, and you've got a blockout plate on the opposite side to keep things a little classier looking. Now, the handle shape on the Raccoon may look a little unconventional, but it is super well thought out in terms of how your hand actually interfaces with this tool. As you can see from my slightly larger than average hands right here, it offers a full 4-finger grip for me, and I love this kind of detail right in the back. I use that a lot myself when I'm designing knives. That kick up at the back allows your pinky to grab hold of it very easily, allows your pinky to manipulate the blade very easily. And the other thing that's going to provide, if you have even larger hands than mine, it's going to be a pretty comfortable thing, even if you're extending past the end of the handle. So I'll throw my ring finger there. Is the ring finger if it's on your right hand?
Depends on your ring.
So I'll throw my ring finger there on the peak so that my pinky is going off the back there. Still feels really good. So lots of different hand sizes can use this in a solid grip like so. You can also choke up around the ricasso area right there for some finer control. Just watch the back of the sharpened edge when you do it. Very, very cool knife. We'll have another Vosteed coming up a little bit later as well. Next up, we have got some Mick Strider SMF folders. Is there a more storied tactical frame lock knife out there these days? Well, the XM18 probably gives it a run for its money. Is the Sebenza really tactical anymore? Anyway, that's part of like the Trinity right there. But anyway, here you go. $850 for these. They're certainly not cheap. For that, you've got a tiger striped blade, nearly 4 inches long, CPM 20 CV in that classic Strider folder shape. You've got a finger choil there to choke up on, and you've got a sharpening choil right in front of that to give you a little bit of extra separation for safety, and of course, an easier time when sharpening the blade. Geometry, it is a almost full flat grind, with a little bit of thickness to the spine there. Definitely something you want to stand up to harder use. This is a tactical knife or design first and foremost, but with the high flat grind on that, you're going to get some decent slicing for everyday utility as well. The handles are titanium in 2 pieces. You've got, well, we'll start with the front. Kind of a dimpled look for extra traction, but none of it is sharp, so it's not going to be too bitey. Kind of like almost like a golf ball texture, but the dimples are more ovaled here than circled. But yeah, titanium that wraps around the spine and then meets up with the back side piece of titanium, which of course contains the frame lock, an over travel stop, a pocket clip, and a flamed finish as well, which is pretty cool. As for the action, they work pretty good. You've got washers in the pivot here, keeps things nice and stable, keeps things easier to keep clean. And usually I say that's likewise with the frame lock. That's going to be a little bit less so because of the closed back of the construction here, but still, frame lock is a pretty easy lock to keep blown free of dust and debris, which you want on a super stable, super reliable platform such as this. They're pretty awesome. Check them out. Next up, we've got a new Toor knife made in the USA, coming in $425. This is the XT1 Charlie folder. Check out that blade. Pretty interesting shape, yeah. 3 1/4 inches long, S35 VN, a flat saber grind there, a little bit thicker on the blade, definitely kind of stout feeling construction right here. Blade shape. Some, such as the man behind the camera right here, may be tempted to call this a reverse tanto.
Tempted.
We say drop point on our website though. I disagree with our website again on blade shapes this time.
Glad to see you're coming around.
Because that's, you know, it's more reverse tanto than drop point, but I'd say it's kind of a straight clipped modified sheep's foot.
So reverse tanto with allergies.
Fight me in the comments. Reverse tanto with allergies. There you go.
It's all swelled up.
It is a powerful feeling blade. You've got a very acute tip, very in line for thrusting, and stout geometry for heavier cuts. Not so much like precision, delicate slicing. This is a hammer, a smaller hammer, but a hammer nonetheless. We've got a titanium frame lock with a stone-washed finish. Goes really nicely with the darkened stone-washed finish of the blade. Front side of the titanium hand, sorry, this is not titanium. This is gray G10 with a mounted tread texture on top of a liner of some sort. It's black, I think it's metal. Anyway, moving on. Feel in the hand. It definitely kind of rotates forward a little bit, helping bring that tip down, at least the way it sits naturally in my hand. So if you're going to use this for thrusting, it is a little less effort to bring that tip to bear. Very cool. The frame lock is super solid. Pivot is washer-based, no ball bearings here. It's got that kind of smooth, deliberate action that you might expect from something like a Sebenza, for example. As such, might take a little breaking in to flick open reliably. As you could see, I kind of missed it there the first time, but man, does that feel super strong and super stable. Nice, super strong looking pocket clip as well. Only a single screw there, but nice, massive piece of titanium to keep things secure. Very, very cool knife. If you'd rather have a frame locking knife with kind of modern ball bearing flippy type of action, check out this. This is the Arcane design, The Creature, coming in at $380 with a 3 3/4 inch 20 CV blade. I'm not sure who's making this actually. I would say Riot would be a safe bet, but the handle almost feels more like a Wee Knife Company thing. So I'm actually not sure. In either case,
it's a creature from the great unknown.
But whomsoever is making it, I'll stop, is doing a very good job with it. Titanium for the handles. I believe it's a PVD coating with a bit of tumbling going on. So you can see you've got the frame lock there. Over travel arrestation is provided by this pivot surround that looks pretty nice and provides a contrasting color. Speaking of nice looks, I like what they did with the pocket clip here. Internally mounted screw keeps it nice and clean from the outside. And since it is a non-reversible pocket clip, you don't really need to access the screw too often. Actually, I did just notice, I don't think it's mounted from the inside. I think it's mounted through the backspacer from the backside. Not sure, haven't taken it apart. Either that screw goes all the way into the pocket clip on the other side, or both sides of the pockets of the backspacer are tapped for a screw or something. I don't know. I know a lot about what I don't know about this knife, as we're finding out as we go along. I'm sorry, whoever runs the Arcane design brand, I'm very sorry I'm stumbling over the details here, because that's not a reflection on the knife itself. The knife is awesome. Like I said, 3 3/4 inch blade, nice, long, straight clip point shape, very broad, very nice thumb stud and flipper action. Feels good in the hand. It's not a super bulky handle. As you can see, it is a little bit on the narrower side. As such, it's going to be very easy to manipulate this in very agile and precise fashion. It's a winner all around, even if I'm missing some key details for you today. Apologies, but check it out. Next up, we've got a couple new Work Tough knives dropping today. Some slightly more affordable, larger Work Tough knives compared to some of the ones we've had recently on the channel. First is the Carnivore. This is an Eric Outer design. You may remember Eric from some of our interviews with Best Tech at some of the shows the last few years, and of course his YouTube channel as well. This is an 8.1 inch blade, SK85 steel, also known as SK5. It's the same stuff. Kind of a straight-backed Puko inspired blade shape, but scaled up and thickened up for tougher, rougher abuse, I would say. You've got a G10 handle with red liners. That's one of the 2 color combos we have at this point. Price on this is just under $200, which is pretty sweet. All in all, I'd say this is a little bit more of kind of a balanced design as opposed to just like an outright heavy beater or heavy chopper. It balances pretty well when you choke up into that finger choil right there for your finer work. Maybe a tad handle heavy, but not too much. It's pretty decent balance. And if you choke back, yes, you can get a little more reach for some chopping, but as the blade is kind of tapering towards the tip as opposed to staying thick or even thickening up, the center of balance, like I said, is a little further back. That kind of maintains here as well. So it's not going to hit as hard as some things, but it is going to work pretty darn tough. Hey, that's the name of the brand.
That's the name of the knife.
Handle feel is excellent. I like the pinch grip capability thanks to the thumb scallops there. I always love the ability to hook up a forward lanyard. That hole there will enable that. It's nice and chamfered too to keep it from fraying your line. The geometry is cool. You've got a fuller with a flat grind underneath that and a nicely convexed, highly refined edge, as Work Tough always does so well. Yeah, really cool. This, if you need or if you want a kind of like one tool option survival knife and you want it a little bit bigger for, splitting wood, bigger tasks, maybe even some four-legged self-defense, but you don't want it to be too much. You don't want it to be too big that you can't do the smaller stuff with it. This could be a real good option for you. The sheath on this and on the next one, I should say, are both made out of Kydex. Here it be. They come with a the hole spacing is Tech-Lock compatible, and it comes with a kind of a dots style belt attachment with that Tech-Lock hole pattern included from the factory right there in the package. Lot of knife here for that $200 price point for sure. This next knife, I think, even offers even a touch more value because it's about the same size. This is the Atayal. I'm not pronouncing that wrong. Actually, this is just a little bit bigger, 8.8 inches on the blade. Just like the Carnivore, it is SK85 steel, and this comes in at about $158 right now. Come on, that is definitely a bargain. Same style of Kydex sheath, same kind of belt attachment with it. You've got a trailing point blade here. As you can see, it's a little bit thicker, about 3/16 of an inch thick, as opposed to, well, there's part of your cost difference right there. Looks like a full 1/4 inch on the Carnivore. So you got more meat on the bone there, so to speak. Actually, that makes me kind of wonder, are my eyes being thrown off by how thick that one is? Let me make sure this is 3/16 and not a full 1/4 inch. Yeah, 3/16 on the Atayal, and yep, 1/4 inch on the Carnivore. Okay, now that makes more sense as to why the Atayal is a bit less expensive. Let me tell you about the name of this knife. Work Tough knives are made in Taiwan by Vic Lin and his crew over there. Really awesome and community-focused knife shop. And the Atayal is one of the largest indigenous populations in Taiwan. And this is designed after their kind of traditional patterns, so to speak. Really, really cool blade shape, really cool G10 handles on this one. This is one of two. This is one of two variants we have right now. This is the Cobra camo option. Very, very sweet. Bit more nimble feeling than the Carnivore. It has kind of a fast feeling to it, which I really like. If you were a fan of designs like the Becker BK7, if you're a fan of those knives, you'd probably be a fan of this knife as well. One, it's got the same kind of overbuilt quality that Becker knives are known for. And while it may not be quite as slim and quite as slicey as the BK7, it's got that same kind of wicked slicing, fast slashing action to it. I really, really dig it. This is going to be great for clearing camp. The trailing point there with that lot of belly there at the tip can be real nice for clearing vegetation. Yeah, kind of small machete work that I talk about here and there. High flat grind on this is going to make it slice pretty well. You can also think of this as kind of a big overbuilt scimitar or a breaking knife, so to speak. Think of like animal butchery, that sort of thing. I dig it. I dig it a lot. It feels super comfortable, balances out really nicely in that forward finger choil grip. You can do a lot of work with this knife and never get tired doing it. Last little detail, if you want a lanyard on this, there is a rear hidden lanyard position for usage thusly. Next up, let's keep the fixed blade party going, shall we? The rather low-key named, we'll go with that. The Viper fixed blade with a low-key name, the Basic 1, the Basic 2, and the Basic 3 by Tommaso Ramici. It's Tommaso, right? You should remember.
No.
Tommaso over there.
Maybe a part
yes.
number. I didn't see a name of the knife.
Tommaso Ramici. Really cool. There are essentially 3 tiers of this knife that we need to talk about. There are 3 blade shapes, as you can see. Well, start with that, shall we? The Basic 1 comes with a nice, elegant drop point, kind of the, in my mind, the classiest looking of the bunch. The Basic 2 comes with this nice abrupt sheep's foot design, very hard working feeling. And the Basic 3 kind of blends the two. It is, we'll call it a spear point in this case, almost verging on modified sheep's foot territory. If it had a little less belly and a little bit more drop, I'm talking like, you know, a couple degrees of difference there would definitely put it in that range. But those are your 3 blade shapes. And there are 2 steels to choose from, starting at about $142. You can get a D2 blade with black or green canvas micarta. Those all come with a stone washed finish. Jumping up the ladder for about $178, not a huge jump, you can get a MagnaCut blade on any of the blade shapes. That goes for all these details here. Those come with a stone washed finish with the micarta handles right there. And thirdly, you can jump up to a carbon fiber handle scale. And those come only in the MagnaCut blade with the satin finish, and those are about $208 right now. And shown here on the spear point version, the spear point is the only version that comes with the protruding tang at the back. Kind of think of this maybe as the more outdoorsy, more bushcrafty version, even though this is not like a hand filling handle. This is more of a slim working knife, but you have a little more utility with the tip, a little more ability to drill and poke with it, and the ability to hammer on the back end with the protruding tang right there. It is crowned, I should say that. All the spinage across the rest, all of this knife is nicely rounded over, feels super premium, feels super comfortable as well. So you're not gonna be striking a fire steel with the back here if that's kind of what you're thinking, but you can pound on stuff with it. The spear point is also going to be the most efficient in the slicing department too, with its full flat grind, as opposed to the high flat grind on the other 2 knives. Small degree of difference there, but it is worth mentioning. As for the sheep's foot blade especially, it's got the feeling of like, if you just need to work, if you need to break down a bunch of cardboard, heavy cuts, that sort of thing, this is going to be the go-to in this range, because that tip don't slip when you're kind of pushing through longer cuts. That's going to help keep yourself moving, keep yourself in the cut, keep yourself working more efficiently. The sheaths on these knives are Kydex. Here they are. No matter which one you choose, you get a Kydex sheath with this Techlock-ish style of attachment on the back. This is actually from VegasHolster.com. It has that rotating locking tab right there, which then allows you to open it up. And then a lot of adjustability in terms of the hole spacing here on the back. You can see tons of different points here and 2 slots. This is going to be able to fit a lot of different sorts of things if you do want to happen to swap it around. And I believe, once it's locked in, this shape here actually allows it to kind of rest and mount on some of their other systems that they offer as well. So even though I said Techlock style attachment there at the beginning, it's not quite. If you did have a Techlock, and for some reason you wanted to put that on there, let's check the hole spacing, shall we? Yep, gonna work, no problem. Large tech lock will also be money for you. Next up, we've got a couple of Vox knives, some Jesper Vakne's designs. The first is another Viper, and it is the Kyomi folder. $235 is the base price. Sorry, no. The base price is about $210 for G10 versions. $235 is where the titanium versions start, however. This is that titanium version. There are fancier titanium versions that could also be had. 3.15 inch blade, 20 CV steel, very voxy drop point shape going on with its high flat grind, and of course his signature blade hole cutout, his kind of signature shape. The action, riding on ball bearings here, flips open. It's a little bit of breaking in, maybe this one. Let's try the reverse flick. No problem whatsoever. Not a super thin blade, like a lot of kind of Vox designs that are kind of broad and kind of widened out this way. The blade steel is a little bit on the slightly chunkier side, again going for a rough and tumble type of usage, but high flat grind keeps the slicing in an acceptable range of utility, I would say, for everyday carry. It's just my opinion, of course. I like the really fine cutout we get here from or on the lock bar. Not a lot of wasted material there. It's just always a nice touch. It doesn't necessarily do anything, as far as I'm aware, performance-wise versus a slightly wider cut. Just feels nice, if you know what I mean. We've got a blue anodized pocket clip, blue anodized backspacer that integrates this lanyard hole here. Really cool design, in fact, very nice. And then you can also see this is a reversible pocket clip, but check out that shape. It has almost a flowery look to it, but this is actually a sort of a practical application, not just a decorative thing. It allows the clip to attach with just a single screw and still have a lot of rigidity, not a lot of movement side to side. That can be a downside of single screw pocket clips sometimes, but because of that fine fit of that clip into that cavity and all of the different surface area and different angles for it to interact with on the frame, we got a lot of stability right there. That is pretty sweet as well. The next Vox design is an MKM, and this is the Eclipse. I like this knife a lot. This is kind of along similar design lines as the Viper Leal, I think it is. No, it's not the Leal, is it? It's another knife that Vox has done for Viper. It has similar lines, but a clip point. This is a drop point blade, and I've been looking forward to this ever since we saw it at SHOT Show earlier this year. It's sweet. About $220 for this version. There are a few different ones. We have titanium frame, and this one has titanium onlays front and back. There's options with carbon fiber as well as a few different color options, including an all blacked out one if that's kind of your thing. 3.2 inch blade, MagnaCut blade steel. Yes, please. Very tough, very stainless, and high edge retention with high achievable hardness, of course. That's what makes MagnaCut so special, because we haven't talked about MagnaCut yet today. Other than mentioning that the basic fixed blade had it. But it is special stuff. I really like the blade shape here. I like the full flat grind. Very slicey, very utility minded, or very versatile day to day. Crown spine for that extra nice feeling. Nice crisp action, and just a subtle flipper tab. Still able to achieve that nice action even without much to grab onto. It's jimped just enough and angled just right so that your finger can still grab it no problem. Plus it's less likely to snag on other stuff and less likely to snag on stuff in your pocket as well. Very cool. You could also probably reverse flick it open, but let's see, it's a small hole and I have really big fingers. I mean, look at that there. This might present a problem. Let's find out, shall we? Hey, it still works. Takes a little bit of effort from me though, but hey, your mileage will of course vary. It's super nice. I don't know what else to say. I like the deep carry clip on it. I like the inlay options here. You've even got the Triple Mountain logo from MKM right there, adding a nice little decorative element without being too like shouty or too branded at the same time. I dig it. Do you guys? Dig it a lot. Keeping things along the kind of slender, elegant theme, going on here. New Jack Wolf. These are dropping tomorrow. This is the Pioneer Jack. As with every Jack Wolf release, there are going to be several different handle color combinations available. I pulled the Ultim one today because it's the first time I've seen an Ultim Jack Wolf, and of course everyone loves Ultim these days. This is the Pioneer Jack. This one comes in at about $300. You've got a sub 3-inch S90V blade, heaps of edge retention with that steel, full height hollow grind with a slim, but still there, swedge. Very precise swedge, I should also say. Great, great snappy walk and talk. I mean, that feels so good. Come on, one more time, one more time. Very nice. The construction on these is very modern, even though it is a slip joint. You have titanium with integral bolsters, you have screw together construction, and of course the screwed on covers, the screwed on inlays right there. Cool kind of thing to see too. There's actually a little bit of faceting to the leaf spring there on the back, or the whole back, I should say, actually. Rather than being kind of smooth and rounded, they have some very subtle but very distinct transitions. Like the actual change in angle, looking at from the front, is not great, but you can see it when the light shines off the back. I dig that. Construction is top notch. These aren't made by Riot, but they're kind of the same level of quality that we've come to expect from Riot's slip joints. You're getting the same type of thing here. Put together exceptionally well. The edge is super thin, super sharp. And of course, being a Jack Wolf, you get the full package. You got the aluminum tube with all the goodies inside, including the POG there with the custom artwork. They do custom artwork for each new knife release. Pocket slip, sticker, cloth in there for cleaning, the whole 9 yards. Hard to go wrong. Next up, we've got another Vosteed, as promised. New versions of the Nightshade. Really cool, $135, and the value here is really, really cool. And it comes in not just from the bolstered handle construction here, micarta and copper in this case, brass is also available, but Elmax blade steel. Interestingly, Elmax has been getting a little bit more expensive these days, so the fact they're keeping this down to $135 is pretty good, actually. 3¼ inch blade. You've got that old school kind of Chinese, what is it, the Nishin cutter style of blade. Elliptical shape, you might call it a drop point if it were angled more like this, but with that downward angle right there, not only can you use the tip very effectively when you're working on a surface, I mean, just look at the clearance from the belly if you're working on a horizontal surface right there. Also points the tip forward very naturally in a self-defense scenario if that's what you're carrying this for. And also on the draw cut, when you're pulling through something, you are engaging so much of that blade edge right there. Really increases the power on those draw cuts. Very, very nice. You've got a full flat grind for everyday utility. You've got a crowned spine as well. Another nice feature to see, especially at this price point. Deep carry pocket clip, non-reversible, but it is inset with your flush head screws, which is always a nice touch. The liner lock holds it open securely. You've got ball bearings in the pivot. Very nice action. Can we just appreciate how it looks closed as well? Despite that really broad shape when open, it's kind of tidy when it's in that closed position. Let's try to do the reverse flick now, shall we? Yeah, no problem whatsoever. Check them out. Last but not least, something, well, very tactical. The Mar Quicksteel series is here. Basically, these designs have been around for a while. There are 3 sizes. I'm missing the middle size here. But they're now more affordable than they've been in possibly ever. Quicksteel ultralight frame locks, $55, just under 55 bucks for the smallest version with the 3.1 inch blade. You've got D2 steel, stainless steel frame with a frame lock and a tail mounted deep carry pocket clip, which is quite nice, and completely reversible for either side as well. Might not be the quickest to access type of carry, but it is going to be a very subtle, very kind of hidden style of carry. All you're going to see is that pocket clip and the 2 screws at the top. The action is pretty darn nice too. I mean, watch this. I barely have to push this and it's going. Not a lot of effort required to make that blade do what it needs to do. And the other thing, opposite the flipper tab, we have another tab, which when open, of course, completes the guard, but you can also use that sort of as a pocket deployer. It may not grab as aggressively as a positively or negatively angled hook, and you do have a little bit of a ramped thing going on, but sorry, my knuckle got in the way of it, finishing the opening right there. But you can, as you draw it from the pocket, angle it so that that tab catches and it's deployed, ready to go. That's the 3.1 inch version. There is a 4-inch version for about $56.50. And if 4 inches was still not enough, there is the 5-inch version right here. $63 and some change. Same style of construction. You got that deep carry clip. You've got the stainless steel frame lock, internal lock bar relief cut, I should say, too, which is pretty cool. Keeps things kind of clean looking. Geometry on these things aren't about slicing. These things are about poking, let's be honest. Saber height, flat grind there, pretty, kind of abrupt and robust, but it's gonna stand up, and with that full swedge there at the back, non-sharpened, it's gonna relieve a little bit of drag there if you do need to use this for your daily cutting uses. But man, look at that. It's like a 1.5 handed folder right there. It's not cold steel levels of big, especially because of the nice narrow, agile profile of this one, but hey, it's pretty sweet. Yeah, 63 bucks and some change. A lot of knife right there. D2 tool steel, if I didn't mention that already too. It's gonna hold an edge pretty darn well for the money. That's a lot of edge for it to hold onto too, 5 inches. Anyway, that's all we've got for today. Let me know what you thought down in the comments, and to get your hands on any of these, what do you do? Links in the description, that's right, check them out, click them, those will take you to KnifeCenter.com. Where, of course, don't forget about our long-running Knife Rewards program, letting you earn money back towards a future knife when you buy one of these knives today. Save up your points, you can get 5% back, or even more if you buy a bunch of double points items. I'm David C. Anderson from the Knife Center. That's Thomas behind the camera. We're signing off. See you next time.